Roxo Media House.
That's going to be enough to bolster the resume.
Hoover on second down and 11. Finds his favorite target tonight, Savion Williams, who gets into Texas territory. Oh, he goes skyrocketing over a defender, 3-yard line.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs. J.W. Wilson here, as always, with Coach Sonny Dykes. Coach, we had a tough night again, but the guys didn't give up. It was 29-26. University of Texas takes the win. But, Coach, tell me about Saturday night.
Yeah, I thought our guys played really well in the second half. We played hard throughout the game, but particularly once we got down, the guys came out at halftime, had a great mindset. Really thought we played physical in the second half and played really tough football and got ourselves back in the game and had a chance to win down the stretch and just couldn't quite make enough plays. So, the early part of the game hurt us. Obviously, the interception at the end of the first half I thought was particularly costly. We're going to go in at halftime down 2 scores and throw a pick, and they score quickly. All of a sudden we're down 3. But our guys did a tremendous job. We got had a first and goal down at the 4-yard line who couldn't score early in the third quarter, and guys kept playing. Got the ball back. Defense played well in the second half and got ourselves back in the game. We just didn't make enough plays down the stretch. I
got to feel like you guys believe you could have beat that team, and I know you almost did. That's got to be encouraging deep down. I know you're not in this for moral victories.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. It is. It's similar to what we've had this year. We've had 4 one-score games, and that's the difference right now between being 8-2 and where we're at right now. And so that's college football. It's the way it is. That's the opposite of what happened last year. We were 7-1 in one-score games last year, and so you've got to find a way to do it. And I've always believed that, one-score games really come down to your preparation and your coaching and guys going out and making plays at the time. And so we clearly haven't done a good enough job this year in those tight games, and Saturday was another one of them.
You had a huge crowd, an electric environment at Amon Carter. Your quarterback played well. Your running back played well. You had a receiver that played really well. You had all the facets on offense, albeit in the second half, but you had guys that were showing up to play.
Yeah, when you look at Texas defensive front, they've got 2 first-round draft picks as the 2 tackles, and they've been a physically dominant group really up front. So what we had to do is try to wear them down a little bit. And we knew it was going to be more of a second-half game offensively just for us, just as those guys wore down a little bit, then it became a little bit easier to run the football, became a little bit easier to drop back and throw from a protection standpoint. So, we kind of anticipated the game playing out a little bit the way it did. As I said, the big thing that hurt us again was losing the turnover battle. We created a turnover and gave it right back to him. Nick's interception that we fumbled back to him, and then Josh's interception at the end of the half was tough to overcome. And when you play against a really good football team like they obviously are, you can't make those kind of mistakes. You've got to hold on to those balls and give yourself the best opportunity that you can to win the game.
Absolutely. I saw you had a bunch of recruits at the game. Anything you speak
Yeah,
to
it was
that?
good. We had a great crowd. As you said, unbelievable student body, unbelievable support. Had a ton of recruits here. The guys enjoyed the game. It was a great atmosphere, and I think TCU showed really well. And so, the objective is to always win the football game. We didn't get that done. Very disappointed in that, but we felt like there's some things to build off of, particularly the second half.
You made a comment at the press conference that when your teams win, it's because of the players, and when your teams lose, it's because of the coaches. I wonder if you could comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, I just have always believed that's the case. I think anytime you have success, it's because you have good players, and it's because those guys are playing well. And then when you lose games, I think it's because you're not preparing your guys well enough, and they haven't played well enough. And so I think anytime that you lose a football game, it always starts by looking in the mirror and saying, what could we have done better as coaches? What's the issue with that? Because players are going to go out and they're going to play, and you have to prepare them for every situation. They have to be aware of every opportunity that they have in the game and be able to capitalize. And if they can't do that, then again, it always begins with us as coaches in our preparation and what we did to get them ready for those situations.
Indeed. And injury-wise, how's everything going with Chandler's back on sideline? We know that.
Yeah.
Anything else going on injury-wise?
No, still a little bit banged up. I don't think we'll have Johnny Hodges this week. Dalen will probably still be out as well. I think kind of the same crowd. Warren will be out. Chase Curtis will probably be out as well. But other than that, I think we anticipate most everybody being healthy. We'll kind of know a little bit more as we slide into practice tomorrow and have a better idea of how guys recover. It was a physical game. It's week 11 in the season. The guys were a little bit banged up, but they did a great job of playing through it. They really did. We had a number of players that were, pretty banged up, and those guys continued to play and played hard and played well. So was proud of those guys for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, we say goodbye to University of Texas for the foreseeable future. You're part of this as well. Last 7 out of 10 games, you guys have taken them downtown. So I think we're glad to be moving on to a new future and see where that goes. So
yeah, I think that's you play Texas for the last time. It's obviously been a rivalry that's taken place for a long time, and you hate to see those things disappear. But the positive thing is, we're going to play Baylor on Saturday. It's the 119th time that Baylor and TCU have played. And so, I think that like anything else, you want to renew as many of these old rivalries as you can, and we're excited about that one. And Texas will be moving on to something else.
We'll be right back with State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
We wouldn't be able to do the things we were able to do this year without the Flying T Club. So we got to continue to get people involved. It's more important right now than it's ever been.
Flying T is special. It's the best thing that I've encountered in college. It allows us to be able to offset a lot of the costs that our scholarships aren't able to cover. If people like winning, invest in the Flying T Club and NIL.
It's almost a necessity now in the college football world. I mean, you got to kind of invest in the programs, and what you put in is what you get out.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. This week's student question of the week comes from Jackson.
I'm Jackson Alexander. I'm from Denver, Colorado, studying business, and I'm a freshman at TCU. Hey, Sonny Dykes, if you weren't coaching football, what would you be doing?
Jackson, good question. I've always been a little bit interested in aviation. Might be maybe a pilot or doing something along those lines. Also interested in real estate as well. I think that's always kind of been a fascinating thing is real estate and real estate development. But really, my passion is coaching and being around young people. And if I wasn't coaching football, I would be coaching my son's teams for sure, or my daughter's teams. But I have interest outside of football, but nothing that's too exciting.
We're glad to hear that, Coach. Thank you, Jackson, for your question. And that question was brought to you by the folks at Railhead Barbecue.
Simply the best barbecue in Fort Worth. Dine in, catering, or drive-through. 2900 Montgomery, just off I-30. Remember, the best barbecue in Fort Worth is at Railhead Smokehouse.
Welcome back to State of the Frogs with your head coach, Sonny Dykes. Coach, it's Baylor week, our old favorite Baylor. Just recently, the two schools have formalized the announcement that the Bluebonnet Battle is now what it's called after the 119 years of in the making. This is kind of a new development.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's number one. I think it's always fun when the students take the initiative and get involved in something like this. And I think the student governments from both schools have been talking about doing something for a long time, and this is what resulted. It's going to be a trophy that's part of this thing that I think is kind of cool. Anytime you get to play a trophy game, I think that's always a positive thing, and players get excited for it. So, it should be a heck of a ball game. I mean, they're going through a little bit of the same things we are, a little bit of a disappointing season. They've had some injuries and some guys that have been banged up, a little bit like us. But it should be a heck of a ball game. This game seems to always come down to the very end, no matter what. Who's where. There's been, you go back and you look at a decade ago, and it started to be a real exciting rivalry. Some great football games, fantastic finishes. Obviously, the game last year in Waco was one of those. I know the game the year before that here was one of those. And so it's one of those rivalries that seems to always come down to the very end.
Fair to say the bazooka play will be ready to go and needed?
Yeah. I mean, so we have it teed up and ready to go. Hopefully, we won't need it, but you never know.
Head coach Dave Aranda. I've spent some time with him over the years. He's a well-educated. He's a good coach. Do you have any history with this guy?
Yeah. Dave is actually a GA at Texas Tech when I was coaching there, so we've known each other for a long time. A lot of respect for Dave. Really smart guy. Does a really good job coaching his team. Guys are always going to play hard. I think he's got a great way with kids, and they're always going to go out there and give their best. And so, this Baylor team is dangerous. I mean, they really are. They're a team that is talented. They've got a bunch of big play guys on offense, and they can score some points when they need to, and defensively, they're always going to be well coached. I mean, they're going to be well coached and run to the ball well and do a great job leveraging the ball and be in the right spot. So we're going to have to execute at a high level on both sides of the ball to have a chance.
It's your last home game of this season, so and you told us in the press conference as well that you were very excited for this game, particularly this game. Is there any particular reason?
I think the big thing for us was just how we played in the second half of Saturday. I think that was the thing. I walked off the field saying, okay, that's the first sign of this that I've seen, where when both sides of the ball played well together. We got stops defensively, we scored touchdowns on offense, and I think we played complementary football as well as we could in the second half of that game against Texas. Now, again, we were 1 or 2 plays short from winning, but I like the way that the energy that we played with. I love the physicality that we played with and the mentality, and hopefully we'll carry it over this week.
Excellent job. That's your head coach, Sonny Dykes, with State of the Frogs. Thank you for joining us.
Roxo Media House.